What's up, YouTube? This is Elder Stacy Zanders coming to you today with another video. But before we get into the video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit that like button and that notification bell so you can be updated on all the new content that we release. Our channel is geared to enriching your life with information that will enrich, that will inspire your life. Okay, but we're going to continue our conversation about racism. There was a woman from the United Kingdom. Someone from the United Kingdom has sent me a message, asked me to talk about racism. I know that it is a systemic problem here in the United States of America, and it's also, she says, a problem over in the United Kingdom. But racism, in whatever form or fashion you find it in around the globe, racism is racism. And we want to talk about that today. We're going to make a few videos and kind of deal with this to help you understand. We talked about the 4 levels of racism in the last video, but we're going to talk today about how do we learn about race? How do we learn? But let me read a quote here from Jane Elliott, who is an American school teacher and diversity educator. And that quote is, "We learn to be racist. Therefore, we can learn not to be racist. Racism is not genetical. It has everything to do with power. Racism is about exalting myself over you, making me superior, making you inferior." Okay, but we want to look at this. How, where does this idea come from? This bias, these concepts of bias, privilege, and racism, and how are they perpetuated? And from a young age, children can become keenly aware of the differences between the people around them. How they make sense of these differences is shaped by family, friends, communities, schools, and media, among other influences and experiences. This process is called socialization. Develops our values, beliefs, behaviors, and even norms that play out in society. Socialization is a lifelong process, but it's critical during childhood. And every parent understands that you want your child to be socialized. If your child is just around mama and daddy all day long, or just around mama most of the time during the day, when it comes time for that child to interact with children their age, they're not going to know how to socialize or be in a group. See, with mom and dad all day long, the child can be selfish. They can not share because typically mom and dad is going to give them everything they want, but there's some social behaviors that is important for a child to learn. Even when it comes to race, this is a very critical process in a child's development. So let's talk about racial and ethnic socialization, which is the process through which children learn different attitudes and behaviors about racial groups. According to Resilience Initiative, this process has influence on children's racial identity and self-concept, beliefs about the way the world works, and the repertoire or strategies and skills for coping with and navigating racism and inter and intra-racial relationships and interactions. And for adults, the media often plays an outsized role in our ongoing process of socialization. The news, television, movies, books, and movies we consume shape our understanding of race and ethnicity through representation of different people and cultures. Throughout history, media in all forms has played a vital role in raising public awareness in instances of racism, discrimination, and bias. Racial and ethnic socialization is important for us to understand because it informs our beliefs, conversations, actions about race and racism. It is extremely important with our children while they are young to give them a proper understanding about race. And the reason why these things are systemic and perpetuated is because from early childhood, you have cultures teaching their children that they are superior over someone else. You have cultures teaching them And some cultures teach their children that they are inferior because of that oppression that they have been under for so long. But it's necessary if we're going to break the tide. Children don't come into this world being racist. Children don't come into the world thinking they're superior. Children do not come into this world thinking that they are better than. Those behaviors are taught, and it's a lifelong process. And thanks be to God that there are some who was taught to be racist, learn the error of their ways, and then begin to unteach themselves, and then to break that tie between their children. All right, so that's just a little information on how we learn about race. It starts from an early age. And if we can teach racism, then we can also unteach racism. Because some people will tell you that this is genetically done, but it is not. It is taught. And we have to teach our children that we are of one family, one race. That is the human race. No matter what your religion, culture, color, creed, ethnicity, none of that matters. We are all men and women. We are all part of the same family. We occupy the same planet. We live on the same good earth. We need the same things in order to survive. We are one family, and that's what we need to remember. We are the family of the earth, this planet Earth. We are God's children, and we can be all traced back to one man and one woman who is the givers or the progenitors of all of us that lives today. All right, so we'll make another video. We're going to keep diving in a little deeper. First, we talked about the levels of racism. Now we discussed today and how do we learn about race. And we'll go in maybe into the next video and understanding the inequity through the data and information. I think that is going to be very, very informative. But this is Elder Stacy Xander. Subscribe and like to the YouTube channel. Listen, these are not easy things to talk about, but we need to have the conversation. So if you have any comments or questions, please put them down in the comment box below. If it's something that you want me to discuss or talk about, please put it down in the comment box below, and I will do all I can to research, pull together some information, and then share that information with you. Until the next time, God bless.